guys, Clayton Dippy here, Southern Roofing and Renovations. We're here on the beautiful 14th hole at TPC Southwind. This is a stop on the PGA Tour for the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Behind you, we're doing a tear-off and replacement of a 95 square roof. We got it all taken care of through insurance. Come on, let me show you how we do it. So behind me here is the first step in the roof replacement process. This is called the tear-off. This is where we remove all of the shingles and the felt down to the bare decking to inspect for any damage or rot. So a few things that we do to protect your landscape: we put tarps down to protect shingles falling from damaging your grass, and even putting up boards over your flower beds and plants. We also put a 2x6 board at the top above the gutters to make sure that any shingles falling don't fall and hit anyone beneath or damage the gutters on their way down. Come on, let's climb up on the roof and take a look. A second on gutter guards. Gutter guards are very beneficial in protecting the fascia of your home up under the wood, especially if you have trees or shrubbery that are hanging over your gutters. Clogged gutters are the #1 reason for rot on your fascia board. So if you have them, use them. One other thing we want to touch on is the different types of siding. So on this home, you can see that there could have been some potential rot before. Down here, this is called a hardy backer. It's a concrete-based siding, and up here is a masonite. It's more of a cardboard. You can hear the difference in the dexterity. So this will never rot. This one, as you can see, has been exposed to some water and taken on some rot. So what we'll do is we'll help take care of that for you as well. So now that we're up here, we've got the bare decking exposed. A few things that we're looking for is deck rot. This is something that you wouldn't be able to find unless possibly in the attic, but once this is stripped down, we look for this so we can go ahead and replace it. So what this is, you can see how it's not a perfectly straight cut. What they did here when they put this on, they used a 3-tab shingle and they cut it to go up here. What we're going to do is use a Owens Corning Pro Edge ridge cap, and just beneath that we're going to put what's called a ridge vent on the very top of the home. So what we do is we cut about 3 inches down on either side of the very top ridge where the hot air ends up and put the ridge vent. Now what this ridge vent does and how it works, you have soffit vent all the way around the perimeter of the home. This allows nice cool air to come in, while the hot air that ends up in the top has to escape out of your pipes. So what we do is cut this and put that vent on. It's like putting straight headers on a muscle car. So guys, while we're up here, when we started stripping the roof off, we noticed that there's no felt. And that is an improper installation of a roof. So the industry standard is a 15-pound felt. What we're gonna do when we go back with this, we're gonna use an Owens Corning synthetic felt. This goes on top of your decking beneath the shingles in the event water was ever able to penetrate the asphalt shingle, just to make sure that no water ever ends up in your home. 3. So while we're up here, I want to touch on these vent pipe boots. These are made out of rubber and generally last about 5 to 7 years. And then they'll dry rot and kind of crack, and after that you can be exposed to some leaking. So if you're not getting your roof replaced, we can potentially do a maintenance and do these for you. While we're also up here, we'll look at the metal ones that generally don't need to be replaced. If they do, we'll do it, but most of the time we just have to reseal them. Here I want to show you guys where this all began. We were called out for repair, and when we tried to repair this shingle, it tore and creased the ones above it because they were so brittle and old. So what we did is we called the insurance adjuster out here and showed it to them, and that's when they deemed that it was unrepairable and replaced the whole roof. So we're out here today getting it knocked out. So one more thing to touch on while we're up here is chimney flashing. So we always inspect the flashing while we're up here to make sure it's good. This appears to be in good shape, so we'll go ahead and strip the caulk off and reseal this to make sure it never leaks. But if there is any damage to it, we'll go ahead and replace that for you as well. So guys, now that we got the roof all torn off, I think Jeremy from Owens Corning's here. Let's go say hello. Hey Jeremy, what's going on, buddy?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Guys, we have Jeremy here with Owens Corning. This is our rep. Jeremy, what you got going on today?
Man, just checking the quality of the material to make sure we follow through on our end and sent you enough material. Everything looks in line, and very happy to be here on behalf of Owens Corning because this project, we have a special interest in this project. We've been looking at this house for about 2 years now. There's been other contractors that have worked with the clients and the customers and their insurance company to try to get this job passed through an insurance job, and they've just time and time again not been able to do so. And so this really puts in perspective of why we like to pair ourselves with talented contractors. Southern Roofing and Renovations came out here, they did a demo install, repair on the roof. It didn't take, they worked with the insurance company and they got it approved. And so here we are today, about to install the Devonshire line of our products, which is probably our top line of shingles. You know, this product is supposed to give the allure and the look of natural slate, and without the high maintenance costs and the high install costs. So very happy to be here to watch this go on. And really looking forward to seeing the finished product. So we'll come back, you know, after you put this on, and we'll kind of inspect it to make sure everything was done right. And really looking forward to seeing how this is going to look on this house.
Jeremy, they look great, man. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you guys as well.
Appreciate it. We're here pre-staging the Owens Corning Devonshire shingles before they go up on the roof. These are a little more difficult than the standard architectural, so we lay it out prior to, just to make sure it's all done flawlessly.
Okay, so we don't need to do it. Okay.
So to explain a little more about what we got going on here, I'm going to teach you about the shingle we're using. So here's your standard 3-tab shingle. This shingle gets 4 nails across and can withstand up to 78-mile-an-hour winds. Usually only lasts around 15 to 20 years here in the Memphis area. What we're using here on this particular home is a beautiful Owens Corning Devonshire. Now this Devonshire shingle gets 6 nails versus the 4 on the other, and can withstand winds up to 130 mile an hour. And it's also rated for around 30 years. So that's what we're going to get them taken care of with. So the next thing I want to touch on is starter strip. So starter strip we put all the way around the border of the whole roof. It acts as an extra water barrier as well as a protector for wind, so that wind can't lift the shingles on the edge. So a couple different types that are used. Some people may go the cheap route and get a 3-tab shingle and flip it over where this flat part is on the outside. Well, once they put nails in the nail strip, it still allows wind to lift it up. But if you use the correct starter strip with the nail strip right here, wind can't get in there and lift that. So we're going to do it the right way on this one and on yours as well. Okay guys, so I want to explain a little bit about the felting system that we're using on this house. So the felt is what goes under the shingles as an extra layer of protection like we discussed. So the code here in Shelby County is 15-pound felt, which is pretty much cardboard, nothing more. What we're using is this synthetic felt, which is way more tough, way more durable, as you can see, and it's a way stronger layer of protection. So we're going to do it all the way around this house. Anywhere there's any exposed wood will get covered up, just to make sure there's no leaks. So earlier when I was explaining the ridge vent and how the air got to go in through the soffits around the border of the home and force the hot air out of the top once we install it, these are the soffit vents that let the cool air in. So they have soffit vents all the way around the perimeter of the home, and that's what makes their ridge vent effective. So the cool air all gets to go in here, and the ridge vent on the top forces all the hot air out. So these are soffit vents. If you don't have them, we can add them for you. So the next thing we want to look at is ice and water shield. So in the valley of the home where 2 slopes come together is a pretty common area for leaks. All the water rushes down to them and they hold water. So what we do is we put this ice and water shield in them. It goes up one side at least on either side of the valley, just as an extra added layer of protection. It's self-adhesive, it sticks down, and then we put shingles over top. What this is it's like a fuel tank on a fighter jet where if it's ever punctured, it automatically reseals itself. So we'll get you done right. So the next thing we're going to discuss is the valleys we're using on this home. These are Kynar coated steel valleys. These are required up north because of the amount of snow and ice they get. We're going to go ahead and throw them on here just to make sure that they're super protected. So this goes in the valley of your home over the ice and water shield as an extra barrier. So what it does is all the snow on your roof, once it starts to melt, rolls in towards your valley and can dam and can back up under your shingles. What this does is it lets it just slide straight down without any backing up or damming. So any backup or dam that happens that can cause any wood rot under there or leaks would not be covered under your insurance. This is a way to make sure that that never happens to you. So what we have here, guys, is a strip of what's called drip edge. So drip edge is Shelby County code required to put all the way around the perimeter of the home under the shingle. So what this does is on the very edge of your house, you put your shingles over top of this, and there's this metal lip right here beneath. Even if you have gutters, this is still beneficial. So it can keep varmints from getting up under the shingles and into the attic, but its main purpose is to have the water run off when it comes off the shingles to drip off of this edge instead of backing up into your fascia board and letting that rot out. This is something we'll use on your house as well. So the last part of the roofing process is cleaning up your property. We want to leave it in better shape than when we arrived with a beautiful brand new roof. One thing that we use are these magnetic rollers. We go around the perimeter of the home 3 to 4 times, more if necessary. And we use these to pick up any nails or debris that are left over. We want to make sure not only protect your landscape, but also your children, your pets, and your car tires.